So like after Philippines, you moved to Europe to a club level. You went to Oțelul Galați, which was at one time one of the best, or a Champions League team, one of the top teams in Europe. And like where things probably did not go how you wanted it to pan out. Like, do you look back with regrets how things ended in Oțelul?
Well, honestly, it was, for me, this was the big chance to go on the without disrespect to the developing countries football, but it was a big chance for me to go in the big stage, in the comparatively big stage, into the real football professional world in Europe. Meaning, if I could use this opportunity for myself in a renowned club, they played in 2012 in the Champions League against Manchester United in Bucharest. They played against FC Basel, and at the time when they asked me to join the club, they were like almost close to bankruptcy. And but for me, it was such a big chance. After Philippines, immediately I couldn't turn it down. So I got in contact with an agency, and one guy of the agency, Andrei Rusu, a Romanian guy who lived in Germany a long time. He said, "Michael, you take the team, you bring an assistant, and we give you the players as much as we can, and you try your best. It will be tough, but." I said, "Okay, I will do it," because it was a big chance for me. Okay, we had a training camp in Slovakia, and we prepared the team very well. The players were not good, we must say that, but I tried maximum to make them fit and to prepare them for the league. We had the first game in Dinamo Bucharest, lost 4-0, and for me it was as hurtful as it was, but it was still a fantastic experience, to be on European level. Cannot compare to Southeast Asian football or African football. It was different, yeah. So to cut a long story short, we managed to after the fourth, fifth game, we played a Rapid Bucharest home. We beat them, and then we had 2-3 draws, and the manager left. The manager left. A new manager came, and from the first day, I was feeling, okay, this is not how it's supposed to be, and they were just waiting when they could take us out or me out. And then it happened after 4 months. They said, okay, they took one. I gave the team, after a long trip, I gave them 2 days off, because I thought they needed to relax and they needed to recover and reload their batteries. They said, "How can you not train?" And they made some allegations about this. So that was the short but very interesting episode in Galați. But the country, Romania, it was a super experience for me. I stayed after that. I stayed another 1 month, and was traveling around a little bit to see the countries. It was a good experience. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I had an offer now in to go back to Cyprus in January, also for the first league club in Cyprus. Cyprus is also quite okay level, yeah. But I couldn't, because I was still in negotiation with Mongolia to finish the job, so I could not take this offer. So that would be interesting maybe for the future. If this coronavirus hadn't happened, maybe I would have sought to go back to Europe in one country and start again. But we don't need to elaborate more on that. After that, I had a break in 2015, and in 2015 there was worth mentioning. I got a call from one of the biggest managers in football in Germany, Thomas Groth. Thomas Groth is the manager of Manuel Neuer. And Thomas Groth was is still renowned for cooperation with Japan. He brought Shinji Kagawa to Dortmund years ago, and then later to Manchester United. So he's very famous for his Japan connection. So I was, of course, I'm still with my wife, but we travel, and even though we went back to Japan in 2014, I lost a little bit interest of Japan because it was not my world anymore. But Thomas called me in 2015. You want to become assistant manager from Felix Magath. Felix Magath, you know Felix Magath?
Yeah.
Felix
He was Fulham manager. Fulham.
Exactly.
He won with. I think he was the last. He won the league with Wolfsburg, right? Or Werder Bremen.
However, he was a big manager in Germany. He was in Bayern Munich 2 years. He was champion 2 times with them. He was champion with Wolfsburg, very surprisingly. And in Wolfsburg, he took my player from Kunimi Okubo, the one I mentioned earlier. Thomas, I had recommended him to Thomas Kroh, to the agent, so they took him to Wolfsburg. And Magath was interested to go to Japan eventually, and we met in Fukuoka here in 2015. And I would have been perfect for me at the time. Yeah. At the same time, I was in the running for the Malaysia national team job. So, cut a long story short, in this period in December, when I was about to get a new job, both opportunities failed for one or the other reason. So this is the life of the manager also. I was a little bit depressed because particularly that the chance to work with Magath and the J-League would have opened doors again for me coming back to Japan. So it wasn't supposed to be. Already in October in 2015, I was in Mongolia because they requested particularly for me. And I had a nice meeting with Mr. Gambata, who is actually, I can only have best words for him. He was the best president I have worked so far with. Very friendly man, not very knowledgeable of football, but very supportive in the things I did, and a big pillar and a big important part for my success in Mongolia, I would say. So we met in 2015, and I introduced some programs for them. They wanted to have me immediately, but then we didn't somehow, in the course of the beginning of 2016, we didn't agree on the conditions of the contract. I went to Africa again, to the neighbor country of Rwanda, to the best club there in Burundi, Vitalo, made a new group, was advisor for the national team and for the president of the Football Federation in Burundi for 3-4 months. Okay, things didn't work out for one or the other reason. The sponsor cut off his payments. I left, and then come back to Japan and discussing with Mongolia again. And then end of 16, I met Mongolia President Mr. Gambata again, and Mongol Jingo, the head of international relations in Tokyo, and we made a contract.